Hello everyone, how are you? My name is Indatin Putri Manao and I'm from English Department 19. In this video, I would like to present my presentation to fulfill the task of Reading Comprehension 3 course. Alright, so the material I bring is Patterns of Organization. Let's come to the first slide. So, what is the definition of patterns of organization? Patterns of organization is how is information is organized in writing. It is important to identify with the author's perspective by discovering the way the message is being sent. Every writer has a purpose for writing and some plan of action for getting a message across. This plan of action is the order in which the material will be presented in the text. A pattern makes it easier for your brain to understand and remember information. Patterns of organization show the relationship between supporting details in paragraphs, essays, and chapters. The writer is anticipating the order in which the material will be presented to help you to put the facts into perspective and to see how the parts fit into the whole. So, there are four common patterns which usually used by writers. The first one is listing. In listing, the writer's idea is stated in the form of a generalization. This is followed by a list of supporting. A listing arranges information according to a progression of time, either forward or backward. The second one is sequence. In sequence, the writer's main idea includes a series of events or steps that follow one after another. Sequential order or process writing as it is sometimes called is when information in a passage is organized by the order in which it occurs. Next is comparison or contrast. The writer's main idea explains similarities and or differences. It is important to remember that with the compare and contrast text structure, the text should be discussing similarities and differences. And the last common pattern is cause-effect. It is when the main idea is that one event or action causes others use the cause-effect pattern. This pattern is used to show the different causes and effects of various conditions. Next, let's come to signal words. Some signal words in listing, there are a few, for example, many, others, first, second, third, and last. Some signal words in sequence, there are first, finally, next, later, last, before, at last, at the same time, and after. Some signal words in comparison or contrast. In contrast, there are however, in contrast, instead, unlike, but. And in comparison, there are like, as, both, same, similarity, and also. And some signal words in cause-effect is because. It stays with the part of sentence that tells the cause, even if the cause comes after the effect in the sentence. Next, let's talk about kind of text in patterns of organization. What kind of text can be read by using patterns of organization? There are biography, history, narrative text, procedure text, report text, and essay. It is possible to find a single overall pattern for the whole text. And what kind of text can be read in patterns of organization? There are poem text, lyrics, advertisement, announcement, and brochure. Why this text cannot be read in patterns of organization? Because these texts have not four common patterns in there. Alright, now let's come to the examples. You can see the text of paragraph here. When you read them this time, notice that the author used a listing pattern or sequence pattern or other patterns. One of the most famous houses in the United States is Monticello. It was the home of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. Located on a hill near Charlottesville, Virginia, it has a beautiful view of the surrounding countryside. The house is famous, first of all, because it belonged to a president. It is also a fine example of early 19th century American architecture. Jefferson designed it himself in a style he had admired in Italy. Many American buildings of the time, in fact, imitated European styles, but while most were just imitation, his Monticello is lovely in itself. Furthermore, the design combines a graceful style with a typical American concern for comfort and function. So, what is the main idea from this text? The main idea is one of the most famous houses in the United States is Monticello. And here's the final words from listing pattern. First, also, many, and furthermore. And you can see the examples from some words here. Okay, let's move to the other examples. This text is comparison or contrast pattern. High school graduates are sometimes nervous about attending college because they fear that everything will be different. In fact, there are some important similarities between college and high school. In both places, academic success depends on being a responsible student. This means attending classes regularly, doing your homework, and studying new material carefully. Similarity: social success in college is like high school. College also resembles high school in student activities. Musical groups, sport teams, special interest clubs, and other activities are found in both institutions. So, basically, this is a comparison text. How do we know that? Remember, a comparison can include only similarities and both similarities and the differences. Otherwise, a contrast includes only the differences. So the main idea of this text is the similarities between college and high school. And here's the final words from this text. There are both similarity and also. And this is the examples from final words. Okay, we come to the last slide. How to read faster by using that reading strategy? In the patterns of organization, the main thing in reading paragraph text is to use a scanning technique, which searches for certain information or text contained in that section without reading the text thoroughly. By using a scanning technique, we can find out the text pattern of the paragraph. Alright, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for watching my video. Hopefully this presentation will help you for understanding the pattern of organization. Thank you for your attention and see you next time. Woo! Instead, so